I got my beer. Uh-oh. Where do I put it? Damn it. Be right back. I need a beer. Much better. Got my beer. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. Welcome to Unprofessional Movie Reviews. My name is Mark. I'll just put it on both sides because no one else is here. I'm the whole fucking screen and shit. If you ever watched Unprofessional Movie Reviews before, I review movies, but I also review TV shows. And I'm going to be doing 2 reviews a Sunday. First one is Game of Thrones, and this will be Rick and Morty until Game of Thrones is done, and then I'll just do Rick and Morty until Rick and Morty's done. Anyways, that's the world. If you haven't seen these before, I do them non-scripted and non-edited. I just kind of rock through everything's top of my head. Not because I think I am awesome or anything, which I do, but mostly because I don't really like editing. So, do it all at once. And also comment, what do you think? I just moved into a new place. That's why I haven't done videos much. I didn't know what to do for my background, so I just put a bunch of top pops up because we own a bunch of them. So, what do you think about the background? Does it work? Should I got like posters and shit I could put here, but I didn't know if it'll look too busy because I'm also in front of it. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, the way this works is I'm going to give you a non-spoilery synopsis of this episode in case you haven't watched it. And then after that, I'm going to then give my rating. And then after that, I'm going to bump into spoilers like as if you just sat down and watched it with me. So here we go. Sorry I'm all sweaty. It's the summer. I don't know what else to tell you. This room doesn't really get circulation because it's in the basement. I'm a married man. Do you think I just have my toys upstairs in the living room? Fucking idiots. Okay, the name of this episode was called Rickmancing the Stone, and it's the second episode, so, if you don't remember, the first episode came out in April Fool's, and it was the best April Fool's prank that's ever happened. I've had a lot of horrible April Fool's things happen to me. Also, done a lot of horrible things to people on April Fool's, but, this April Fool's was great. I got super fucking drunk, and then woke up and really hungover, filmed my episode 1 review. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. So anyways, this episode moved on a little bit. Now, Rick and Morty doesn't usually do... They're very anthology. You don't really have to see them in order. But this season has seemed to be, definitely is changing that. They're holding things up. Episode 1 was very about the lore and really, like, you wouldn't have got it if you haven't seen other stuff. In this, they're definitely doing that. They're moving on with the storyline. If you didn't watch this episode and if you're wondering, is Jerry just gone after episode 1? He isn't. He's in this. Lots of other stuff. This episode, I'm going to be straightforward. I'm a giant Rick and Morty fan. I got my squanchy, my poopy butthole. I got Rick and Morty here, and I got Rick and Morty here, and there's Bird Person. I love me my Rick and Morty. But I'm not going to lie. This episode was great, but it's definitely not one of the... We're not going to look back at this episode where people talk about their best episode, their favorite episodes. I'm sure some people really like it because I'll get on to the animation, which is usually fucking amazing on this show. The animators definitely went all out with this episode, but storyline-wise, it was, I don't know, it was weird. I'm going to get into it in the spoilers, but I definitely liked it. But if you're going to talk about the best episodes of the series, I would put, like, the pilot, the ending of the first season, so that would be a Risky Business, or I put Rick Potion number 9, of course, and then definitely A Wrinkle in Time, which is the first episode of season 2. That's personally probably my favorite episode, and then probably Look Who Purging Now and Wedding Squanchers. So those are like the top. And maybe even might even be able to take Look Who's Purging Now out of that. Definitely the beginning and middle of all the seasons, and the beginning of the season. Episode 1, Rick Shake Redemption, was definitely better than this episode. That episode is a fucking masterpiece. And I'm glad they played it on Adult Swim right before this. Ugh, I'm so sweaty. Ugh. Fucking Summer. And the character Summer. They don't have a pot for her. Who cares? They got one of Squanch. But anyways, where was I talking about? Alright, you want a non-spoilery synopsis? The episode was fine. You'll like it. There isn't really a bad Rick and Morty episode. There you go. What did I think of it? From 0 out of 5, be a little harsh. It's going to be a fresh rating, but let's give it a 3.75 out of 5. I'll give it 3.75. It was good. There isn't anything wrong with it. It's just not an epic episode like what they like to do. That's all. Alright, I'm going to open up spoilers. Fuck off. I'm starting to sound like Rick now with the burping. Speaking of burping, you guys ever notice that in the last episode, Rick Shake Redemption, when he goes into the bugs, Nathan Fillion, and Nathan Fillion burps when I'm just a dumbass bug. He burps. So that proves that the burps are psychological and not actually because he's a gassy alcoholic. That's hilarious. I don't know if you caught that or not. Oh, God, I'm just starting to sound so bad. I probably look like just the biggest piece of shit. I'm all sweaty and burpy. Anyways, I lost weight. I actually look better than I used to. Okay, what was I going to say? Let's talk about this episode. So, Rick, Morty, and Summer, in order to deal with the divorce, they jump into a alternate reality where shit went down in the 90s, and it's Super Mad Max. They went to a Mad Max kind of Fallout world. I love Fallout. But anyways, yeah, so it was not really so much about that world. It was about them dealing with moving on. That's what it was. This whole episode was, in my opinion, about how to move on, and it was a great personal episode for that, and I really liked it. And even the arm, whatever did he call him? I'm sorry, I just watched the episode, so I'm not going to remember everything. But he had a cool name for Rick's or Morty's arm. But what did the arm have to do? He had unfinished business, and then he took care of it, and then he immediately moved on. The arm went back to normal. He moved on. I loved it. I think this is a very personal episode, and it's very character growth, and it even showed growth in Rick. As much of a sociopath, fucking piece of shit nihilist as you can be, he was even like, yeah, maybe I'm not dealing with this shit right either, and he caused it. So, God, that's probably a lie. He's probably dealing with it fine. I loved the robot Rick, Morty, and Summer. That shit was funny. And then Morty's trying to glab on to reality. It just didn't work. Oh, that was so fucking great. I love how they wrestle with consciousness, and especially the show wrestles with the creators of the relationship between a god, which Rick has stated there isn't a god, and I agree, Rick, but he also has made himself a god, both creating a multi-universe and being a god of that multi-universe, miniverse, sorry, creating the miniverse and being god of the miniverse / tinyverse, teenyverse. But anyways, what my point was there's the show likes to tackle created consciousness and it's struggling with the creator. And this was just a smaller one, but again, it was, this robot Morty trying to struggle with, is he real or not, and how he wants to feel everything and actually be real, and it just doesn't work out. But it was kind of like the pass the butter bit, but done bigger. What's my purpose? Pass the butter. Oh my God, yeah, join the fucking club, pal. Okay, I don't have a lot to talk about this episode, except I'm so glad Rick and Morty's back. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, Ricky Ticky Tavi, bitch, and I'm ready to get going. Alright, if you had anything to say about this episode, tell me what you thought. Click like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. Let me know that I'm not just doing this for 5 other people. So try to get, if you enjoy this, let other people know about it, because this is just a nice little hobby I do, and if I keep just getting, like, me being 50% of my views if one other person watches it, I might eventually stop doing it, but I really don't want to. I really think this is fun. So, you know, tell me that you enjoy them. If there's one guy who's like, dude, I love watching these videos, fuck, I might just stick it with him. Alright, cool. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. I'll talk to you guys later. I don't give a fuck. And what's your favorite Rick and Morty catchphrase? Tell me what you thought of this episode. How big is your genitalia? Bye.